want to share with you where we are right now, 2,000 years after it happened in our New Testament Bibles. Paul sent for the disciples, and after encouraging them, he said farewell and departed for Macedonia. They had decided that they were going to go to Syria, but instead of going there, they sailed from Philippi to Troas, which is where we are right now. So I just want you to think about this for a moment. You are standing where the Apostle Paul did ministry 2,000 years ago. Pretty cool.
This morning we left Istanbul and began our 4-hour drive down the coast of the Marmara to visit the cities of ancient Troy and Alexandria and Troas. And after 3.5 hours of driving, we were about to cross into the continent of Asia.
No visas.
Did you get it?
No.
Yeah, Asians are very strict in that.
So do we need to have our passports out?
Visas for Asia. It says you can enter Asia.
Okay. I'll let you do the talk.
Yeah, Russian oil tanker down. It's full. Therefore, it's very low, but it's huge, massive. Yeah, these are called super tankers.
So I'm currently standing inside of the city of ancient Troy. Right behind me shows the different layers of this city that was built throughout history. Now, Troy is not mentioned in the Bible. However, Alexander the Great did come here, wanted to build his own, so he built Troy of Alexander, also known as Troas, which is in the Bible, and that's where we're gonna go visit next. Right behind me is what used to be the palace of King Priam, and this was before the Trojan horse was rolled in and they destroyed the city. But these were the ancient walls that guarded the entire city. And then right behind me over here, this is where they would sacrifice animals to false gods like Apollos and Zeus. And these large stone structures right here is where they used to have altars and massive statues. This square building right here is most likely where priests would live, so they could easily be close to the altars and sacrifice animals to their gods. This was the old amphitheater right behind me, and it's very small compared to a lot of the bigger ones now. But when Constantine first came here, he wanted this to be the place of Constantinople, which of course he found where modern day Istanbul is now, and that's where he built Constantinople. But there was just so many different groups that wanted to come here throughout history, and it just existed over such a long period of time.
To honor Poseidon, they built a horse.
Oh, okay.
Like,
We'll give you $20 to take that cat with you.
what's your name? Remind me of Cleo from Africa. We got a dog in Africa.
Did you take it home with you?
No, I wanted to.
Oh.
It was just a stray that like would come to our house. Yeah, it was super sad.
Hey, buddy.
So I am standing currently on a main passageway that is coming from the harbor down below up into this area of Troas. This very well could have been a pathway that Paul would have walked up as he came into Troas on a multiple of times, specifically coming from the area of Philippi and over here to Asia Minor. So when you think about Greece over across the Aegean Sea, over here to Asia Minor, Paul would have walked along this pathway, as I'm walking right now, to speak and to talk to people about Christianity, to tell them about Jesus. This is the location somewhere in this area, down in the harbor, where he would have had an opportunity to share the gospel. And there was a young man by the name of Eutychus who was listening to him for about 6 hours preaching, fell out of the window and died. Acts chapter 20 says that Paul went down and said there's still life in him, and he rose from the dead right here in Troas.
You feel different peacefulness. Like it's so calming.
Istanbul.
Yeah, no, Istanbul it was cool, but I got a very confusing feel to it. Like it was.
This is good.
This area that I'm standing right now used to be the path. It's covered up by grass and dirt and rubble over the years. But it's crazy to think that this path from over there went all the way down to the harbor by the sea, and Paul himself walked this exact path. My dog's running away.
I want to share with you where we are right now, 2,000 years after it happened in our New Testament Bibles. Acts chapter 20. After the uproar ceased, Paul sent for the disciples, and after encouraging them, he said farewell and departed for Macedonia. When he had gone through those regions and had given them much encouragement, he then came to Greece, which Greece is behind me 200 miles. It goes on to say that Paul was with a bunch of his friends, a couple of his disciples, including Timothy and Tychicus and Trophimus. They had decided that they were going to go to Syria, back to where he was from, in the area of Antioch. But instead of not going there, they sailed from Philippi to Troas, which is where we are right now. This is the main biblical account in our Bibles regarding this location. On the first day of the week, when we were gathered together to break bread, so this was on Sunday, he talked with the people there. Intending to depart on the next day, he prolonged his speech until midnight. So, long sermon. There were many lamps in the upper room where they were gathered, and a young man named Eutychus, sitting at the window, sank into a deep sleep. The word there is actually where we get the Greek word hypnosis. So he had gone into some sort of deep sleep or hypnosis. And as he was sitting there, Paul continued to speak. Being overcome by sleep, he fell from the third story and was dead. But then Paul went down and bent over him, taking him in his arms, and says, "Do not be alarmed, for his life is still in him." And when Paul had gone up and broken bread and eaten, he conversed with them a long while until daybreak and departed. And they took the youth away alive, and they were comforted. So I just want you to think about this for a moment. This is where Paul came on multiple occasions, where he would take the boat across the Aegean to Troas, and he would spend time here. He didn't intend to spend any time here, but he ended up staying for about a week, preached a sermon way too long. A young boy dies. He keeps preaching, and then when he leaves, the boy is raised from the dead. So this is just a significant, small story in the book of Acts, but the author of Acts, Luke, felt like it was important for us to see the power of the word and to remind preachers, don't preach too long. People might fall asleep and die. So just take a moment to think about where we are right now. Obviously the terrain and obviously the buildings are not here, but you are standing where the Apostle Paul did ministry 2,000 years ago. Pretty cool.
Hey, let me read. Let me read. Can I help you? He's biting me, bro. This exact sea that we are at right now, this exact location is where sail pulled into. This was the old harbor. The old buildings of the city were here, and they would go up until that pathway that I showed you a couple miles away in the main city center of Troas. And most of that is overgrown now. But I'm standing and kneeling in the footsteps of where the Apostle Paul walked and preached. How sick is that? Amen, baby. Come on, bud. Let's go. Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Baby down. Baby down. Yeah, baby down. What's up, bud? Come on. Come on, handsome. Just me and my dog out here. So, the dogs pretty much take you from the town all the way to the beach where Paul was. It's crazy that they're just like guides out here, man. Dogs are wonderful. Pretty weird what I just said. Hold on, I'm trying to record something with the dogs. I don't know what else to say other than this is really, really, really cool. And